and cheers. So, nice to meet you. So, as RepRap said, I am Cedric Mallett. I am the manager of the European subsidiary of MakerWorld, which is a 100% subsidiary of the MakerWorld brand in China. And we deal with sales and marketing mostly in the European market. We are here since 2022. And I am a French again, so please pardon my French. I will try to be fluent as much as I can in English. First, thank you for the strong organization to have us here and give us this opportunity to talk about MakerWorld and most MakerWorld. I will explain why I decided to talk about MakerWorld. When we come to a RepRap festival like SMRRF, we don't think that this is the right place to sell printers. No, I'm an old school guy. I still think that the heroes of our RepRap festival should be on makers and astronomers like us. So I'm not here to sell printers or whatever. And to be honest, I even forgot to bring a printer, so we had to borrow one for us down yesterday. Thank you, Principi, for lending us one. This helped a lot. We are here to talk about MakerWorld, which is the tool that we launched 3 years ago to solve the model and design problem for 3D printing. And now, when we see our printers running at the moment at MakerWorld, what we think is the most valuable part of the printers is the model that it's printing, because this is the model which unlocks the real value of 3D printing. And this is not something we are doing ourselves. We are the tool makers. This is the way we see ourselves. And if you compare a 3D printer to any other tool, like a saw, for example, we believe that the value comes not from the tool itself. A saw doesn't create any value. The woodworker is creating value with the saw. And this is the way we think about our printers and why we think that designs and models are really the value that can unlock the real potential of 3D printing. The main difference that we have, if we compare ourselves to a saw maker, for example, is that we need to educate people about what 3D printing can do, what value it can produce. If you go out in the streets there and ask people about what they can do with a saw, everybody would be able to answer. If you ask them about what they can do with a 3D printer, currently, a lot of people won't probably be able to tell you what they can do for themselves with a 3D printer. And this is what makes us different from just tools or appliances manufacturer. And this is one of the problems that we are trying to solve with MakerWorld to really unlock the value of this tool for this market. We really think that maybe not for the people who are in this room, because most of you are probably very early adopters who have tinkered a lot with their printers and know how they work and what they can do and so on. But this market is evolving a lot currently, and all the new people coming to 3D printing don't come for specs of the machine or whatever, or the temperature of a nozzle or whatever. What interests them is what can they do with the 3D printer? What can they print? What can they make for themselves that will change their daily lives? And this is why we think that models and design are really the key to the market growth that we are all hoping for the 3D printing. We see this as a virtuous cycle. more people getting into 3D printing will need more designs. We think that we have currently made quite some progress on the model to product cycle with the 3D printers that we have been building for the last 3 years. And more people into 3D printing, consuming more designs, needs more resources for designers, which is the next big challenge that we think that we are facing at the moment. How to attract more and more people to create more and more designs, which will attract more and more people into 3D printing, and overall, this market grow behind its current boundaries, and everybody will benefit from this, starting from all the makers, all the designers who have models to share due to this market. So yeah, we built MakerWorld for this. MakerWorld was launched 2 years ago. It has grown a lot in the last 2 years. We shared a few figures recently about what happened on MakerWorld during 2025. So we've reached like 15 million monthly active users, more than 1 million models available, and it has been 290 million hours of printing of MakerWorld models during 2025. So that's quite a lot. But we see this really as only the beginning, because there are still a lot of challenges to address if we really want to deliver the full potential of this market. So, for example, currently the main business model of MakerWorld is to share free models. This is a deliberate decision that we made because we think that free models are needed at the moment to attract more and more people to 3D printing. But we know that this is a big limit for designers to share free models. So we have to find ways so that designers get the value they deserve from the work they are doing. And this is something that we have to work toward. And I can tell you that we are currently thinking of a lot of ways to reach this outcome, because again, for us, this is the key. The more designers will be able to make a living out of the job that they are doing, the work they are sharing, the more models they will share, the more people will want to become designers, and this is really what we want to support, the evolution that we want to support. So we have been already making some progress towards this goal. We have launched the MakerWorld program. Currently, we have almost 100 designers in 2025 who will be able to earn more than $70,000 during 2025. So that's already an interesting community. Sharing more models. We are collaborating with almost each of them to work on the models that they expect from the future, but also to help them get more value out of their work. We've launched a copyright support program to help them fight against illegal copies and this kind of stuff. We have launched our crowdfunding program, where if the model that you want to work on and share with the community is too complex to just share as is on the platform. You can raise funds to help you work, build these more complex models. And so you can create a crowdfunding on Kickstarter, requesting between $500 and $50,000. And it works exactly as a Kickstarter, meaning when the goal is reached, then only at this moment people are charged for the amount they backed on our project. And we already have several hundred of projects who have already been fully funded like this. And in fact, we invited 3 successful crowdfunded designers on our booth. This is the kind of people that you can meet with us, because we thought that this is what we want to talk about and give you the opportunity to talk with people who already have this experience and can share with them. As a matter of fact, there are not 3 anymore, because one stayed only yesterday, I think, but we have 2. Alex is here, confirmed 2 people that you can meet on our booth who have crowdfunded the project with MakerWorld. We have also launched Maker Supply. So if you don't know, Maker Supply is a tool for designers who are making projects which are not limited to search engine, because sometimes to deliver the full value of your project, you have to add hardware parts, you have to add electronic parts. And we think that it's a bit difficult to leave people on their own to source the part that they need to build the project. And sometimes, you have to buy, a box of 100 screws to just get the tool that you need for your project, which is a problem. And this is why we created Maker Supply, which basically enables designers to just select the parts that they need and create a customized kit for people to buy. And so they get only the part that they need for the project, and they pay only the part that they need for the project, which is the ultimate goal here. And the designers get a commission fee on the sales of these kits. We are at the beginning of this, but this is something that we truly believe in also, and that we want to push. And now there is AI coming. We are only at the beginning of this. It's currently AI is disrupting a lot of fields, and 3D printing is probably one of them, because AI will also probably help us be more efficient in designing, in modeling. We have been experiencing with tools that we share on MakerLab, which use AI to add more value and offer more customization possibilities thanks to AI and so on. We are experimenting with this a lot, and you can expect some new experiments to come to MakerLab. Yeah, and if we think that AI will probably help us solve this design problem, meaning it will remove partly the obstacle of people who have an idea about the design and don't know at the moment how to model it. AI will probably help on this. But again, we are convinced that the true value comes from a maker who sees something that needs to be fixed or something that needs to be improved in real life. And AI won't bring this value. This is a maker enjoying a workshop or entering a kitchen when we see something which is not good, something could be better. And this is where the true value relies for us. And it won't be disrupted by AI. For the moment, at least, this is what we are convinced of. We will live in a world where it's very difficult to predict the future. Things are moving very, very fast, but still we are convinced that only people can see the pain points of other people and find a solution to solve them. AI will just be a tool to work faster and probably to deliver more accurate models or whatever, but it won't be the source of the good design in the future. So yeah, that's about it where we are at the moment. Now we know that there are still a lot of problems to be solved, a lot of barriers to remove. We want to work on this, and we are also convinced that it's only together that we will be able to find the right solution. So this is why we are here in the first place, to have conversation with designers, with makers, to understand your challenges, to understand what you expect from the tool that you can build. As I told you, we want to work on everything that will help designers and makers getting more value from their work. Even if we have to think about the path that we need to follow to reach this outcome in the end. And again, for the moment, for example, the free model for us is something that we want to continue to push, because we believe we have the conviction that the 3D printing market for individuals, which is the core market of MakerWorld, can multiply by 10 in the next maybe 5 years or so. You know, we are still in a market which is an early adopter market. I don't know if you are familiar with this business model strategy, like saying that we are about to cross the chasm and become a mainstream market, a mainstream technology. We think that we are at the beginning of this, and we want to continue to push to cross this chasm and become really mainstream and become something that at least everybody in the street, the average Joe, will be aware of and will know what he can expect from a 3D printer. And even if he, in the end, doesn't buy the 3D printer for himself because he doesn't think that he needs one, he knows someone in his neighborhood who will be able to print something for him and this kind of stuff. So yeah, that's mostly that was the message I wanted to deliver, that we are here to listen to you, to see what you are making, to understand your challenges. And I am lucky to have a team with me here. I see some of them in the crowd, so feel free to reach out to us to discuss. Even after SMRRF, you can reach out to us on LinkedIn or email. It's a bit difficult because we are receiving too many, like what to do, but all of them. And if you have any ideas and any suggestions about what you expect from a platform like MakerWorld, would like to hear about them. Among the things that we are thinking of for the future, I would like to launch a workshop with designers, or like a think tank with designers in Europe, to keep this relationship going all year round, and to really be able to share some valuable feedback to our IT teams and R&D teams that are in China, so that we can influence the future of what you will see on MakerWorld. This is the kind of thing that we are here for. That's the role of Lab Europe here. You know, it's not only delivering the message of Angular, but it's also getting some feedback, getting some valuable information from you to be able to share it and to drive the future of the tools that we will share on the market. And I think I covered most of the topics I want to talk with you about. If you have any, I would happy to answer them. Yes?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Talking to
Bring yourself. I will be.
let it.
What's with that guy? It's him. So I can say.
yeah.
What? It's fine. Yeah. So you mentioned using AI to help the design process. But how are you going to stop people that's using AI to make design? Because obviously on social media, there's lots of just spamming it to stop.
That's a real problem for the moment.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
but
how are you going to stop people from just flooding the site with just brand new designs and things like that? Because obviously it's going to make it hard for you to find actual phrases instead of that.
yeah. So to be clear on that, this is a very recent problem, and in the last few weeks, we have witnessed an increase in flooding on the platform with this kind of models, which not only don't bring any additional value, but also, how could I say this, decrease the value, the overall value of the platform, because people get flooded and that's not good. So currently we have different ways of addressing this. The first one that we had was the rating from the public, because this is a way for us to know which models have some value and give some value to our customer. But at the moment, we think that this is not enough. And so we are working on different ways to address this. Some automated ways. We will have to deploy some tools to filter out what's coming, whether it's on the model or on the uploader of the model.
Happening right now at the bottom of this finished step. For shot one.
To get Butch all around that.
Yeah, it seems.
So you can
Which give us the money back.
this one's
Talk against the chef.
That's a difficult balance to find for the moment, but we are focusing a lot on this problem at the moment to make sure we can really shine a light on the models and the designers who deserve it, and try to figure out all this stuff coming. Ideas are running like crazy to find out what.
for yourself some piece of I'm like that.
So in conclusion on this, we don't have the right solution now, but we have people actively working to find it, and probably we will have to experiment on this.
So it's a good. I have a related question. What you did is formidable, of course, but you say you help designers to make a living. There are two aspects to it. One is, there's a danger of turning into fully paid platform, or the other is connected to AI. If there's a fully AI side, are you going to make them earn the same as designers who use the AI just to tweak and debate, or
So
is there any model or any engines?
that's a complicated question. I instead of hour talking about this, but first of all, I think this is not up to us to decide which designs provide value and so are worth. value for our users. This is up to them to decide on the value. And in the end, if this is an AI model which provides value, then
How many examples they made from the typical model they get paid from?
yeah, at the moment, what drives the revenue of our designer is the number of downloads and the number of trends. And we will keep it that way, meaning this is users who will decide which models deserve value or not us. We are just the tool makers in this, making this market, and we want to stay like this. But this is where we will need to develop strong bonds, both with designers, with users, to clearly understand what they like, what they don't like, and what should we push in the app. And maybe we will, at some point, have different platforms. I don't know, it's difficult to tell about the future. What is for sure, again, is that we will continue to promote a free access to model until the market reaches the potential that we think it has on 3D printers themselves, because this is what we are pushing for, that more and more people have a 3D printer at home and can become designers' customers. So until we reach this point, we know that giving access to models, allowing people to experiment with 3D printing, with things that provide value to themselves, so things that they like because they are beautiful, because they are useful, because we need to be in this cycle with them. And once everybody is accustomed to what they can do with 3D printing, then probably we will work to a different business model where most of the model will be as paid models now. So this is what makes it difficult, to manage this balance for the moment, and we have to experiment on this.
You talk about that, you're saying that you have 3D printing until there was enough demand to do a proper print run, or rather not by 3D printing, but a production run, which will actually be cheaper usually per item.
Yeah.
Or were you thinking of bringing a production next to a 3D printing farm?
No, the DNA of Bomberland is we are a consumer-oriented company. The dream that we are chasing is everybody has a 3D printer at home. It's, honestly, we know that not going to happen, but this is the direction we are going for. But what will be the future? It's very difficult to tell, and maybe the future is some local 3D printing service that will help anyone in the neighborhood have access to 3D printing stuff. We don't know for the moment, but what we are sure of is that we are currently just scratching the surface of the potential of 3D printing. And so we want to continue to push and at the same time balance this problem of giving access to model.
But I have a quick question about SMRRF adoption rates, because I'm also very passionate about that. And I feel like the two issues is better on the other type of barriers nature and for
Can you speak a bit louder?
Oh, sorry. My question is about mass adoption of printing printing, and that's what I'm more passionate about too. I think that one of the main things about it is that there's a barrier in nature is mass adoption. It's the technical application anymore. It's something ground design. It's something that's not on MakerWorld or already available. So one has to have this and very similar to photography when it first came out many years ago. Wanted to know to go into a dark room where it tends that photography was not applicable, but they didn't have those skills, so they couldn't do that. So my question is that in order for that area should be removed, you have to have a plug-and-play kind of something that's to be able to go from 2D to 3D without having technical aptitude. So it might take a picture of something with my phone, and I can just render it 3D. That would be the ultimate plug-and-play. We've seen many devices that graph and all that. So basically, industrial level and allow somebody to get scanned using light, using other things. You model something that usually comes out pretty good, 85% accurate. Maybe you require some tweak to get it out and model it that nature, but you can get the final design. How far away do you think we are from a 2D to 3D world where, just go over and supers couldn't do that? That's the first question. The second part is
Okay. Let's start with the first one. We think that there are still a lot of work to do to reach the level of ease of use and that. But at the same time, what we are witnessing at the moment is that even the progress that we made during the past 3 years, we are currently seeing a lot of people with no background in 3D printing and no technological background world coming to 3D printing now. So even if we want to continue to improve our printers and the overall ease of use of 3D printing and avoid all the mistakes that you can still make with our printers, and so we have teams who will continue to work toward this, and we want to continue to push in this direction. But then now we think this is the right time to step up and start addressing the problem of models, because these are two different problems. We've worked on model to item, model to object with the 3D printers, which was where we delivered most progress in the past 3 years. Now we know that if we want to continue to push forward and get money that we need to continue to innovate on this, we have to address this ID to model part of the ecosystem. And this is why we are now really investing into MakerWorld, and we will talk more and more about MakerWorld, because for us this is the part that is missing to really go mainstream with the overall process.
Really quick question. Very popular is it which for us I should talk about 10 people out there know about pre-print with it and with the projects. I know Bentley Labs is probably one of the most important companies in the world when it comes to bringing people in experience, because you've made the process so seamless with printers, which comes up hard and really just first came out. But the hardware companies where you used to get the first prototype when they do consumer, they're not to go buy filament first or something else, and very idea of printer and rent. So what is the labs about the hardware companies kind of thinking to do to get interested in 3D printing? Do you think it's a marketing issue to let them know and make them aware actually do with the 3D printer? And whose responsibility in the ecosystem is it to try to market this industry of the European business? Like to your point, if you took a random 7 people, we went down, you'd be like one person new.
I did the exercise, to be honest. Sometimes I just talk to random people to see when.
Yeah, sure. Like go to that room and say, but when they are aware, but the gear it's amazing how their mind is turned. Just how interested they get, how amazed they are, especially kids, right? About the creation of things they do. So my question is, how is the ecosystem do you make people more aware of the benefits of 3D printing and capabilities?
So first of all, we don't see ourselves as a hardware company. And I think this is what makes us stand out from the market when we launched. From day one, we have been focused on delivering a 3D printing experience. And this is not only hardware, on day one, we had more software engineers in the company than mechanical engineers, for example, because we knew that having the right software interface was key, for example, to deliver really ease of use to the customer and so on. And so this is what we are focusing on. We want people to successfully print with our printer and not just sell a printer. But even with that, at the moment, we are convinced that the key to our mainstream comes from the model. And this is where we say, okay, thanks to what we did over the past year, we have gained some traction. We now have more means, more resources, and we want to make these resources available to the designers who will break the models, who will talk to the average Joe on the street, because we think that this is the model who will drive adoption in 3D printing. How, we still need to figure out, but this is why we need to talk with designers and makers and people who are really unlocking this last obstacle, I would say, to mass adoption of 3D printing. And when we think about it also, I don't think there is a single solution. When we see 3D printing, we don't see this as a market. We see this as thousands of niches. And probably, you have to understand the woodworking market, you have to understand the cosplay market, you have to understand the RC model market, and so on. And we will have to multiply relationship with all these communities to drive the adoption for them.
And
Well, thank you very much. We're out of time, but I would encourage you guys to listen.